Welcome friends, we're going to be doing a 60-minute twisting vinyasa today. So I have 2 blocks and a strap. If you want anything else, grab that for yourself now. If not, we're going to start on our backs, so make sure you have a little bit of space either side of your mat wherever you're set up. And you can have your equipment. Let's have it to the back of the mat to start, just so that we can use the blocks and they're within easy reach for us. So you come to lie down onto your back. Make sure that your hair, everything is comfortable in the way that you need it. Have a little wiggle so that your spine feels straight, shoulders and hips are comfortable and they feel relatively in line with each other, so we're not lying in any wonky positions. Bend into the legs. Have your feet about hip width distance apart, a little bit wider is good, not too narrow. Bring your hands onto your hips, onto these bony little parts of your hip, and start to rock backwards and forwards. So a little bit of a pelvic tilt. And I want you to find that position where your lower back is closer down to the mat. And you can feel that tiny bit of lumbar spine extension start to come in. Rest one hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach. Maybe you have to press into your toes to keep your back in that position and stop it from popping up into this arched lower back alignment. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. Take a deep breath. And another. And one more. Think of any intentions that you'd like to set for the practice, or repeat any mantras that you repeat for your practice. Keep the pelvic tilt in that position of lumbar spine extension. Either keeping your hands on the trunk of your body or taking your arms out to the side. Inhale. Exhale, knees go to the right, look to your left. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, knees go left, look right. Inhale, legs come up. Exhale, change. So you find that breath to movement. As your knees come up to center, your head comes to center. As your knees go over to the left, your head looks over to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, change. So you have these baby twists coming through the back line of the body. Inhale, center. Exhale, change. Inhale, center. Exhale, change. Inhale, center. Exhale, change. Inhale, center. Now if you need a little bit more of a warm-up, stay there. If you're ready to get a bit deeper into the lower back, knees into your chest. Rock from left to right, and you can use your hands on your knees to help guide the movement. Alternatively, you can keep your arms out to the side and have a bit of support. Feeling into that pressure that sits in the lower back, just rolling over, feeling around maybe the tops of your glutes, the sides of your hips coming into the sides of your glutes. And especially if your arms are out to the side, I find it a little bit easier. Slowly start going further and further over, taking the legs to the floor, finding this deeper twist sensation. And again, start turning the head in the opposite direction to the way the legs are twisting. Nice. Notice how when your knees go to one side, the opposite shoulder wants to lift up. Think of a little bit of rotation through the shoulder, keeping the shoulder touching the mat as much as you can. And you might find that helps you to get a few little clicks through the spine every now and again. Nice. From here, bring your knees back to center. Again, hands on or hands off. Start to come into your hip opening circles, feeling your adductors start to stretch, feeling what's going on in that thigh to hip connection. And if it does feel a little bit gristly, just make the circles smaller. And you might have to stick with smaller circles for a while. Sometimes it's just a bit of wear and tear. Sometimes maybe you've just done something to your hip flexors and it just needs you to ease off a little bit while it goes into some rest and recovery movements. Take the circles round in the opposite direction. And if you're making your circles wide because you quite like the core engagement aspect of the movement, just make sure that that lower back is engaged and moving down towards the mat and not lifting up into that arch. So again, thinking back to that pelvic tilt that we just practiced. Bring the legs back together, bring the knees back to center. You can rest the feet down onto the floor for a minute. Reach over, take hold of one of your blocks. Take the block, place it between your thighs so that your adductors can start to squeeze in. Now we're going to lift the legs up, so if that makes a difference in where you want to place the block, readjust. Arms in line with your shoulders, hands down so your fingertips can hold the floor for support. Feet flex so that the legs are active. From here, inhale, knees come into your chest. Exhale, push the legs away, extending as much as you can. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, extend. Again, remember that lower back, we don't want it lifting up. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, extend. And inhale, knees to chest. From here, exhale, bring the legs into a 90-degree angle. Take a deep breath in, engage your core, press the shoulders down. Exhale, legs go over to the right, look to your left. Let the legs come all the way down. Rearrange the block if it's slightly moved at an angle. And look over towards your left fingers, your left thumb. Rotate so the palm faces up to the ceiling. And see if you can get your chin over towards your shoulder. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage the core. Inhale, lift the knees up. Exhale, legs go over to the left, look to your right. Again, palm faces to the ceiling. Rearrange the block however you need. And we'll stay here, chin reaching towards the shoulder for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage your core. Inhale, lift the legs back up. Exhale, take that block, let the feet rest down. From here, knees come back up into your chest. Make sure you have room to the front of your mat. So wiggle back a little bit if you've scooched forwards. Start to rock and roll backwards and forwards, taking the weight over your back. If you've got any back injuries going on at the moment, then you can simply just roll over towards the side and we're going to come up into a Vinyasa squat. So practicing that squat, start to build your momentum. Tuck the feet underneath your bum. Have a little squat and reach into your Vinyasa. When you get there, squeeze the glutes, open the knees a little bit wider, and then gently relax. And we go again. Rock and roll forwards, tuck those feet, squat and reach. Squeeze the glutes, open up through the hips. And gently release, come back down. One more time. Inhale, squat and reach, coming up. And bringing your elbows into the inside of the thighs, hands come together into prayer. Squeeze the glutes, feel that little bit of hip opening. If your heels are up and you feel like you're tilting forwards, take your hands down and use them as a pillar of support so that you feel confident and comfortable. From here, hands up or hands down, we're going to shimmy to the back of the mat. So one at a time, shoulders back, chest forwards, up and proud as much as you can. Start to take little shuffles and try to get the feet to land as lightly as you can. I know sometimes that's really difficult, and for some of us, some people are just a bit naturally flat-footed, so the landing is a bit heavier, but getting into that control. Taking the hands forwards now, start to shift the shoulders forwards, lifting the hips up, bringing the feet to be about hip width distance apart. Bend into your knees, send the hips back, hold on to opposite elbows. Let your head hang nice and heavy, and start having a little sway from left to right, coming into your ragdoll. Bending and straightening one leg as you go, trying to get your lower stomach towards your upper thighs as much as you can. Thinking again about how that's going to stretch the lower back out a little bit more. Lower back is connected to the glutes, connected to the hamstrings, all of these bigger areas of the body that hold on to a lot of stiffness. Nice, come back to center here. Inhale, slowly round up through your spine. Roll your shoulders down and back as you get there. Come into a neutral pelvis. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, rising up. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, flat back, long spine, shoulders back, core engaged. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, walk your hands forwards, find your down dog position. Take a few breaths here, pedal out the legs, shuffle around. Don't forget to keep pressing back from the hands. Don't let the shoulders start shifting forwards over the wrists. We're not in plank. We're looking for that spinal extension of that hamstring stretch. Looking between the ankles, the knees or the thighs. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, shift forwards, high plank. And gently bend the knees, come into a tabletop, tuck over the mat if you've got some knee sensitivity. Thread the needle, so shift the weight over onto the left hand, left knee. Inhale, right fingertips to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, thread your needle, right ear and shoulder, come down to the mat. 2 more times. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, thread your needle, come down. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, thread your needle, come down. Nice, left arm then extends over the ear, fingers reaching to the front of the mat. Right fingers are reaching out to the left as much as you can. And notice the hips, they want to swing over to the left. Move them an inch or so over to the right until you can feel that on the right side of your body. Stay here for 5, breathing into the chest, breathing into the lungs still. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide that left hand back under left shoulder. Press into it. Inhale, right fingertips to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, come back to tabletop. Other side. Inhale, left fingertips to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, thread your needle, come down. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, thread your needle, come down. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, thread your needle, come down. Stay down. Right arm goes over ear towards the front of the mat. Hips move an inch or so to the left. Nice deep breaths, and we stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide right hand back under right shoulder. Press into it. Inhale, left fingertips to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, tabletop. Now bring your big toes together, knees apart. Shift your hips back. Come down into a child's pose. Forehead resting on your mat. You should be able to breathe through your nose. So if you can't, tilt your head a little bit more. Press into the fingertips. You can lift the wrists up. And you can start to get little shoulder stretches or a deeper bit of spinal extension. Breathe into the back of your rib cage. for 3, 2, 1. Palms come down. Inhale, round forwards like an angry cat, puffing up through the back of the spine. Press into the tops of the feet to lift the knees up. Bring the legs to be parallel to each other. Coming into your up dog, shoulders back, chest up. Again, pressing into the tops of the feet, widening the knees, pushing back into your child's pose. Let's make it more fluid. Inhale, coming forwards, coming into your up dog. Press into those fingertips. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Inhale, shifting forwards, coming into your up dog, shoulders back, chest up. Exhale, up and back, child's pose. Inhale, shifting forwards, coming into your up dog. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Inhale, come forwards, shift into your up dog. Exhale, come back, child's pose. One more time. Inhale, round forwards, coming to your up dog. Exhale, shift back, child's pose. From here, inhale, shift forwards, tabletop, tuck the toes under. Push yourself up and back into your down dog. Find your down dog alignment. Fingertips pressing down, hips shifting up and back. Wrists, shoulders and hips trying to find a straightish line. And if you are trying to push the hips back, but your heels are coming up off of the floor, try to bend the knees and then shift the hips up and back. Really use the shoulders as well. Don't try to kind of dump into the shoulders. Activate them. Feel that engagement. Have a little wiggle of the hips. And see what adjustments feel good. Let's stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees. Look to the front of your mat. Inhale, jump or step. Flat back, long spine. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching all the way up. Exhale, hands by your sides, neutral pelvis. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, rise up. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, flat back, long spine. Plant your hands, jump or step back, high plank, chaturanga dandasana. Inhaling, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Widen the feet to be mat width distance apart. You can shorten the distance between your hands and feet as well if that will help. Shift the weight over onto your left hand. Right hand is going over towards the left calf or the left ankle. Grab hold of that, give it a little pull, bend into your elbow, look over past your left hip towards the ceiling or the back of the room, and stay for 5. Press into those fingertips on the left hand. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to your down dog. Let's change over sides. Left hand to right leg. Give it a little pull. Find a twist. Wiggle those hips, same as thread the needle. Shifting them a bit to the left. You might find a deeper stretch. Stay for 5, 4. Strong through that arm. 3, 2, 1. Come back to down dog. Find your placement. Look to the front of your mat, bend your knees. Inhale, jump or step, flat back, long spine. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, rising up. Hips forward, little back bend if that feels good. And back to Tadasana. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, rising up. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, flat back, long spine. And plant your hands, jump or step, chaturanga dandasana. Inhaling up dog. Exhaling down dog. Looking between the ankles, between the knees or the thighs, fingers spread out nice and wide. Find that hip hinge that you're looking for to get into the back of the legs and stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look to the front of your mat, bend your knees. Inhale, jump or step, flat back, long spine. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, rising all the way up. Exhale, neutral pelvis, hands by your sides. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, rise up. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, flat back, long spine. Plant your hands, jump or step back, high plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling up dog, exhaling down dog. Nice, from here, inhale, right leg goes up, three-legged dog. Bend your foot towards your glute, point the knee up to the ceiling, stacking the hips. Flex through the foot, kick that foot over to the left, like you're trying to close a door with your foot in the air. Stay here for 4. Squeeze the glute, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step that foot forwards, find your lizard lunge. Wiggle so you can place that left knee down. And you can have your toes tucked or untucked, whatever suits. Place your hands so that you're comfortable. Wiggle that foot so that it's just skin to skin connection. There's no bone to bone compression. Engage your core. Squeeze your glutes. Find your breath. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach that right hand forwards and doing little semicircles. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, down. Inhale, fingers to ceiling. Exhale, back. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. If you're comfortable going full circle to the back leg, then let's go. Inhale, up and over. You feel the hip drop down a little more. And bring it back. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, back. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, back. Slide the right hand back. Tuck the left toes, lifting that leg. Shift back into your high plank. Knees up or down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling up dog. Exhaling down dog. Inhale, left leg goes up. Three-legged dog. Bend your knee. Stack your hips. Flex through that foot. Squeeze the glute and imagine you're trying to close a door. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step forwards to a lizard lunge. Gently place that right knee down. Have a little wiggle, get yourself comfortable in this position. Shoulders back, make sure the shoulders aren't pinching forwards towards your jaw. Find your breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3 times with the half circles. Left fingers forwards. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. 3 all the way back. Inhale up and over. Exhale back. Inhale up and over. Exhale back. Inhale up and over. Exhale back. Slide that hand back. Right toes tucked. Knee up. Sliding back to your plank. Knees up or down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling up dog. Exhale down dog. Nice, look to the front of your mat. Bend your knees. Inhale, jump or step. Flat back, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Tuck your head. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, rising all the way up. Exhale, neutral pelvis, hands by your sides. Nice, from here, grab hold of both of your blocks. Place these blocks down a little bit wider than hip width distance, but not as wide as your mat. Step your feet so your toes come into that line with the back of the block, and then let's step the left foot back in a walking stance. So coming into our pyramid, inhale, fingers to ceiling, lifting up, core engaged. Send the hips back, keep engaging the core, hands come down to the blocks. Shoulders come down the back, shoulder blades gently squeezing together. Wiggle the hips, you should already feel that stretch coming through the right leg. Nice, from here, you can start to flex through that foot, toes to the ceiling, pulling that right hip back. Nice deep breath, shoulder blades still coming down, navel still coming to spine. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the right foot come down, bend into that right knee, and as you do, we're going to come onto the tiptoes of our back foot and re-step so we're in a warrior two footing position. Feet are making a 9 o'clock. Left block is going to come to the inside of the right foot. Right hand is going to come onto that block. Feeling the hips shift back as you rearranged your hands. Inhale, left fingers to ceiling, reaching up, really opening up through the side of the body. Now, if you're feeling quite tight, really reach those fingers to the ceiling. Focus on the sensations that you can feel on the left side around your obliques. If you're looking for a little bit of a deeper stretch, reach the arm over the ear, fingers really reaching, and you'll feel a little bit of puffing come through the side of the rib cage. Breathe into that whilst trying to maintain your core engagement, so navel to spine. Watch out for this lower shoulder, that you're not just sinking into that joint. Let's stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, bend that front leg, come up into your warrior two stance. And then exhale, reverse your warrior, right arm up and over, left hand can come behind for support. Squeeze the right glute, push that knee out to the right just a little bit, and stay for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, fan your hands down, reposition the blocks, and let's change over sides. Left foot forwards, right foot steps back. Come back up to standing so that you can make sure that your shoulders and your hips are squared off towards the front of your mat. Core is engaged. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinging forwards. Hands coming down to the blocks, or rearrange the blocks if you've misplaced them. Wiggle those hips. You should start to feel the stretch. Shoulders down, core in. Start to flex through that left foot. Shift that hip back. Nice deep breaths, and you can really sigh it out, especially if, like a lot of us, the left side is a lot tighter. You have to bring a lot more awareness into the breath, really use the breath as a tool to help release these sensations on the left side. We'll stay for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the left foot down. Bend into that left leg so we can shift to rearrange our back foot into that warrior two stance, and then that right block can come to the inside of the left foot. Left hand switches over blocks, left leg straightens, hip shifts back. Start to rotate so that the right arm fingers reach to the ceiling, feeling that stretch around the side body. If you're looking for deeper, again, arm over ear, and really reach through the fingertips. Let's stay here for 5. Lift the left kneecap and squeeze the left glute. See how that feels. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rise up into this little mini warrior two. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Keep active through that front leg. Squeeze the glute. Knee moves out to the left just a little bit. Nice. Inhale, come back in through your warrior two. Fan your hands down. Rearrange the blocks. Let's step forwards. Inhale, rounding up through your spine. Exhale, shoulders down and back. From here, step the left foot backwards again, coming into this high lunge position. And what we're going to do is take the right block and place this to the outside edge of the foot. Now, if you know your balance is a bit shaky today, or you're just a bit shaky in twisting lunges, you can always place the block to the inside of the foot as an alternative. From here, strong tiptoes on this back leg, lift the kneecap, squeeze through the left glute, grip the mat with your toes on both feet. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, rising up. We're going to twist to the right, so left hand forwards, right hand back. See if you can look back towards your right fingertips. Stay here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Look forwards towards your left thumb. Inhale, reach forwards with that left hand. Exhale, take the hand down to the outside edge of the leg onto the block. If you want to lower the block, then just rearrange that now. Inhale, right fingertips to ceiling, navel to spine, squeeze those glutes. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and slowly. Inhale, rise up, bring your arms up, fingers to ceiling, high lunge. Exhale, step forwards to the front of your mat. Have a little shake, little leg burner there. Other side, so right foot steps back. Come up into your high lunge positioning. So arrange the back leg as far back as you need it in terms of distance. Start activating through that leg. Find the spot in which you feel the most stable. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, twist to the left. So right hand forward, left hand back. Again, see if you can look back towards the left thumb, or maybe even just the inside of the elbow. Stay for 5, 4, squeeze that right glute, lift that kneecap. 3, 2, 1. Look forwards towards your front hand. Inhale, reach it forwards. Exhale, take it down. Take a block with you, whatever level you like. And then inhale, start to lift your left fingertips up towards the ceiling and you feel that stretch deepen. If it's too much, as an alternative, you can always take your hand to your hip. Stay for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, rising up. Exhale, stepping forwards. Have a little shake. Move these blocks just out of your way for a moment. Feet hip width distance apart, bend your knees. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, flat back, long spine. Plant your hands, jump or step, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Nice. From this down dog, inhale, start to walk your feet about halfway forwards on your mat. Drag your hands back, round up through your spine, one vertebrae at a time. Roll your shoulders down and back. Nice. From here, inhale, right knee comes up, knee towards chest, foot is flexed. Take the left hand to the outside edge of the right thigh. You can either take your right hand onto your hip, and this way you can roll your shoulder back and look back towards your elbow, or you can start to extend the arm all the way back. See if you can look to your thumb. Big test of ankle stabilization on the left side here. Steady the breath, squeeze that left glute for 4, 3, 2, 1. Full circle with that arm. Inhale, bring it forwards. And release it down. Have a little wiggle. And then we'll try the other side. So, left knee coming up, 90 degrees. Foot is flexed. Right hand comes onto the outer edge of the thigh, holding it for a little bit of support. Hands can come either onto the hip or the arm extends all the way back. If you can't look to your thumb, try looking towards if you're straight ahead is 12 o'clock, try looking to 9 o'clock rather than the 6 o'clock. Stay here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Full circle with that arm. And we release it down. So taking hold of the strap, if you find hand to foot standing positions challenging still. And they are quite challenging because they do involve a lot of strength from your hip flexors, which is a mostly underdeveloped muscle in the modern world. So you can do what I just did, and you can take the piece of fabric through the metal buckles, so you just create this little carrier for your foot, or you can do it any other way, it's up to you. Lift this right foot up, 90-degree angle, and we're going to take the left hand down the outside edge of the thigh. So rather than coming from the inside, add into that twist by getting your hand as close to your foot, or maybe it's possible for you to hold on to your foot, in which case, knock yourself out. Start to extend. You'll feel how the strap comes up But for some of you, maybe you want to stay with the leg bent and go through the twist this way. If you want to extend that leg, you might find wrapping the strap around your wrist a little bit helpful. Start to reach the right arm back. See if you can look to the thumbs once more. Squeeze your bum, squeeze and engage your core for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee and release down. So I'll demonstrate without the strap. And again, just try it out, you know, sometimes your balance is good, sometimes your balance is bad. This can be a nice little bit of feedback to tell you about what sort of things you've been doing during the day and how they're helping or hindering you. So, you can take the foot by going across the shin. If you really want to, you can go across the thigh. It is very intense, especially on this side. Or having that strap to your foot. Either keeping the leg bent or starting to extend. Find your gazing point, find your drishti, find your core engagement, squeeze the glute, grip the mat with your toes, come back to your breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee and gently release down. Have a little shake. From here, come back to the front of your mat. Move anything off of your mat that you were using for that last sequence. Bend your knees. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Engage the core. Look down to your big toes. Shift the knees back so you can see the big toes. Let's get a little bit lower. Let's start to shuffle the feet closer towards each other. Keep navel to spine. Keep breathing. Inhale, extend through the arms, really reach through the shoulders. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen the spine, twist to your right, hook that left elbow, knees together. And see if you can press the arm into the legs and look back towards your right shoulder. Stay for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come back to center, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the other side. Seeing if you can get your thumb towards the center of your chest in the sternum. Stay for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come back to center, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, flat back, long spine. Plant your hands, jump or step back, high plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling up dog. Exhale, down dog. Nice. From your down dog, bend the knees wide, big toes together. Come for a rest stop in child's pose. Let your body just melt down towards the mat, relaxing nicely. Lifting the head, looking forwards, shifting the body up, taking the feet back. Come down to lie onto the front of your body. And we're going to come into a wide-armed up dog position. So taking the hands off of your mat, elbows coming up, roll the shoulders back, press into your fingertips, find a back bend that you're happy with, and rearrange your hands if you've got any sort of pinching or stress signals coming through. From here, look over the left shoulder, rotate to the right shoulder, rolls forward and taps the mat. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, left shoulder rolls forward, look back over your right shoulder. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, change. Inhaling up. Exhale, change. Inhaling up. Exhale, change. Inhaling up. Exhale, change. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, lower down onto the mat. Arms out in line with your shoulders for broken wing. From here, left hand comes under the left shoulder, left leg bends, and right fingertips are going to wiggle out as far as they can, so you already feel a little bit of a stretch in the shoulder. Lift this left leg up, roll over onto the right side, place the sole of the foot down onto the floor, and let your head relax down. You can always slide a block under your head if this isn't a comfortable angle for you. And you find the more that you lean the knee away from your mat, the deeper the stretch is on your shoulders. The more you let the knee come forwards towards the mat, the less intense the stretch can be for your shoulders. Let's stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and gently roll back on towards your stomach. Changing sides, left arm out, right hand under right shoulder, right leg bends, it lifts up and rolling onto the left side, placing the sole of my foot down onto the mat. And again, noticing any differences in left to right, because we are a bit wonky, we do have a more dominant side, so it's always nice to figure out maybe the right side is stronger for this, but the left side is more flexible for this, and understanding your strengths and weaknesses a little better. We'll stay for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently come back onto your stomach. Make a little pillow with your hands. So you can rest your chin, your cheek or your forehead on. Wiggle your feet out to be about mat width distance apart. Bend into the legs. Sway from left to right. And you're looking to just feel a nice little bit of a relief sensation across the quads. What you'll find is, especially in some of those balancing, lunging positions, if you can start to bring your awareness to that muscle just above your knee, as you roll over that, that's usually quite a weak muscle. So when you do these balance and these lungy warrior style movements, that muscle is worked quite well, and so you can usually feel a nice bit of sensitivity there. Nice, just come back to center, place the feet down, bring your hands under your shoulders, push up and back onto your hands and knees, and either cross your ankles over or swing your legs around, come on to seated. So if you find that your hamstrings are really tight, you might want to grab a cushion or a pillow or a blanket, just a wedge under your bum to lift your hips a little bit higher. We're going to take this right leg over to the opposite or the outside edge of the left leg and bring your left arm around to give it a little bit of a hug. Option 1. Option 2, if you want to go a little bit deeper, lift and lengthen the left arm up and then slide it to the outside edge of your right arm. Whichever one you feel is going to benefit you better for today's practice. Roll the right hand around behind your hips towards the back of your mat. Come up onto your fingertips so you don't dump into your wrists. Try and walk your fingertips back so you can set your shoulders over your hips as much as possible. Close your eyes. Bring your awareness to the sensations that you feel. Engage your core. And you can think inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to deepen your twist. We'll stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Coming back to center. Placing this foot down to the inner edge of the thigh, knee resting down so that you're in this seated tree, this Yani Shirshasana pose. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. And either taking the hands to the feet or hands onto the mat, shoulders back, chest up. This is going to get into your lower back and your legs. If you're wanting to stretch out the upper back a little bit more in this moment, round your back, nose towards your knee, and you'll feel that area puff out, and you can get your stretch. Let's stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. We're going to come to wild thing. Right hand behind your right hip, leaning over to your right side. Onto the right knee, lift the hips, find that little back bend. And on your exhale, lower the hips down, come back to center. Changing sides, so right leg is straight, left leg up and over for our twist. And again, either hugging that leg as you come into your twist, or extending up, coming to the outside edge of the thigh, and going for a little bit more intensity. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come into your twist. Watch that the shoulders don't rise up to the ears. Wiggle the fingers back if you feel like you're really leaning and dumping into the wrists. And stay with those breath instructions. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling to twist. We'll stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come back to center. And release this leg down, come back to your seated tree. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, folding forwards. And again, finding which alignment works best for you. And deciding if you want the lower back and leg sensation, or you want the upper back stretch from this position. Let's stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. Left hand behind the left hip, leaning over to the left for wild thing. Reaching the hips up, pushing the hips forwards as you find your back bend. And gently lowering back down to the mat. Let's bring both legs together here. Have your feet together or hip width distance apart. Feet flexed, quads engaged, so your legs feel a little bit active. You can even feel like you can lift the heel up off of the mat, just by a little smidge. Arms in line with your shoulders. Engage the core, really come into this L-sit position. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, swing the arms around to one side. Bend into the elbows, lowering your chest down to the mat. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, changing sides. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, changing sides. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, changing sides. And inhale, come back to center. Exhale, fold forwards, Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Same thing as our seated trees. You can either go for the lower back and the legs, or you can round the back to going for the upper back stretch. Take a little wiggle, find what feels good. And we'll stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, release your hands down. Taking the blocks as you come to lie down onto the mat now. And we'll start off by just using one of the blocks, lifting the hips up, sliding that block under the base of the spine. If you like a deeper back bend, by all means you can stack one block on top of the other, or you can turn this block onto a level 2 height. Sway your knees from left to right, should feel a nice wave of relief, a little acupressure style of sensation. And then from here, if you shift forwards so that the end of the block, the edge of the block that's closest to the front of the mat is almost at the top of the glute. So the block has become a bit higher up the back now. If you lift both knees, then your lower back should be now fully on the block. And here as well, is just gently rock from left to right. Maybe even little tiny circles. Nothing too big. We don't want to feel like we're going to fall off the block and then subsequently pinch some skin in some annoying way. You just want to feel that larger area where we are keeping a lot of the stiffness, especially after a bit of conditioning like today. We're just rolling our body weight over that, taking steady rhythmic breaths and helping to release any lactic acid from the conditioning work in the lower back. Yes, and if it's comfortable for the lower back, you can do little shifts backwards and forwards. And it's quite nice just to hook one foot over the other so the feet can hold on to themselves and your legs can relax a little bit more. Come back to centre here, let the feet come down. Lift your hips up, slide that block out. Just place it to the side for a moment. With your lower back on the mat, again, have a little rock from left to right. And you can turn your head in the opposite direction, just like the warm-up, having these little baby twists. And for your final relaxation pose, if you have a preferred Shavasana position, of course, come into that. If you lift the hips up and almost scoot your bum down towards the heels of your feet, and lowering your back down, you should get a little bit extra lower back spinal extension. You can then slide the blocks under the backs of your thighs. Arrange yourself so that you're comfortable. If you want to put on any socks or jumpers, then do so. Palms open to the ceiling, shoulders rotating so that they're open, the chest is open. Take a few deep breaths, wiggle around, make sure that you're comfortable, your shoulders are down, away from your ears, your hips are comfortable, your feet are comfortable. And then start to follow your breath. Let's do a little counting mindfulness exercise. So to yourself, as you breathe in, you say, I am inhaling 1. I am exhaling 2. I am inhaling 3. I am exhaling 4. And keep going throughout the Shavasana. When you notice, or if you notice that you've got distracted, start again from 1. The goal isn't to reach a certain number. The goal is to become aware of how long you can be present with yourself, practicing this skill of focus and concentration with ourselves for the purpose of relaxation. Start to wiggle your fingers. and your toes. Rotate your wrists and ankles around in circles one way and the other way. Stretch your arms above your head, full body stretch, deep breath in and sigh out. Hug your knees into your chest, rock from left to right. Move those blocks out from underneath your legs and have a little rock backwards and forwards. Coming back up into a comfortable seated position. Rolling your shoulders down your back. Rolling your head around over your shoulders in whichever way feels good. Come back to center. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reaching up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Remembering any intentions that you had set for the practice, or any mantras that you chose to repeat, and repeat those to yourself once more. I thank you for your practice, for your presence today. I hope you enjoyed the practice. Namah Shivaya.